My name is Jackie Bong Wright. I've been married to Lacey Wright for 29 years.
We never go anywhere without our camera.
I see.
I have 3 children, Victor and Annie, 40, and Alex, 39.
She always does something new that I didn't expect her to do. So, this is one of those things that is just something I never expected or heard about it.
All eyes on me. All eyes. Hey, hello. Look at me. Keep looking. I'm going to keep snapping till I run out of film.
In our history, we've never had an Asian American woman become Miss Senior America.
And I think that it's time for all of us to be responsible, to voice our rights, and to be empowered. This rehearsing and knowing how to talk to the microphone is not easy, because there are some people who are tall, I'm small, but we have to adjust the microphone to the right height.
Very important. Nobody says the good state, the moon state, the this state, the west state, nothing. Your name and your state. That's it.
I don't see this particularly in the same way as a beauty pageant having to do with younger women. It's quite a different thing, and it's a nice thing, and it's good to call attention to older people and what they are doing.
Project your voice and get up really close. Otherwise, it's going to be a whisper and the judges won't hear you.
And now, audience, please say hello to contestant number 5, Jackie Bong Wright, Ms. Virginia.
Wanda Madge Jones, Texas.
Bora Bora, Oregon. Phyllis Lovett, California.
Robin Brewer, Arkansas.
Michelle Ron, Colorado. Addie Spacuzza, Florida. Joyce Brown, Georgia. Margaret Britton, New Hampshire. Sarah McHale, Pennsylvania. Beverly Sauls, Missouri. Reness Adams, Tennessee. Wootsy Tate, Mississippi. Hermie Sherry, Arizona. Nancy Lewis, North Carolina.
Bernadette Jones, Maryland.
Jackie Bong Wright, Virginia.
I'm representing Virginia. Virginia is for lovers.
In America, when you're young, you're in, and when you're old, you're out.
The Miss Senior America pageant has been formed to promote and to enhance the image of women who have reached the age of elegance between 60 years and better.
Let's see, where's my handbag?
out on Sunday, is that correct?
I don't know.
I gave it to you. I told you.
Give it to me?
Yeah.
And I said, what would happen if a senior citizen got as much attention as any Miss America or any pageant person?
I never would have done this when I was younger, but now when I'm 65 years old, I say, why not?
I've taught and directed musicals all my life, and I think it's coming from the end result, working back.
Well, you know, I always knew I was going to be crowned someday. I'm an ex-politician, been in the House and Senate, but I figured it'd be with a beer bottle.
Any woman 60 years and older can compete in this pageant. What we look for is 4 categories: interview, evening gown, inner beauty, and talent. We don't have swimsuit.
slot machines.
This is a blackjack table.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
In this email that she sent us, she said that she's going to start cutting back on a lot of the volunteer work and sort of the other kind of community aspects that she was working on. That she was listing other kinds of things that she was going to do because her doctor, advised her to slow down a little bit. And then one of those line items was enter the Vietnamese-American Virginia contest. And we were just like, what? Where does this come from?
I had the opportunity of going down to the state of Virginia and being at her pageant that she entered in with many, many other lovely contestants as well. One segment that I was very impressed was when she came out to do her talent segment.
I want to show that Asian seniors are active, industrious, and they're outgoing.
We've had other people of different cultures, but she is basically our first that got to this level.
Nice to see. Wait, hold. Do I do this? Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much. Hi, how are you? How are you?
If she were to win, it would be a cultural shock, I think, across America.
Hi, and here, I'd like to say hello to you. Hi, Jackie Bong Wright.
And we love you ladies for undertaking the amount of work that it takes to be our national queen.
You're all winners because you are here representing your state.
We are living longer, we're healthier, and we are role models for the young people to show them that there is dignity and elegance in aging, whether you have frailties or not.
Is it Miss Maryland? Yes, I saw your picture in the Washington Post. Yes. Congratulations, Maryland.
I'd like to have each state queen please stand up and tell us about your experience.
I spent 30 years teaching young children.
I've always taken care of the elderly, and now I'm one of them.
I, in a former life, was a professional singer.
I'm a newlywed. My life has been as a Social Security employee for 40 years, so don't blame me.
29 years ago, I fled communist Vietnam and came here as a refugee. But with the help of generous Americans, I made my way up, and as you can see, I reached the top by being Miss Virginia today.
You know what? It's pageant time!
I gave them lessons on staging, lighting, how it affects the coloration of their makeup, and how to use the technique of highlighting and low lighting. Here is a flat face, okay? Features there. All right. Yellow on this paper is white or low light. The dark is highlight. I've used reds. I put highlights and lowlights on her face. Okay, up here I've got a little bit of an Asian look, and I left the outer corners because the Asian eyes are something that closes, you know, thinner width. So what I did is I left the outer edges open, and look what it did to her eyes.
I get up every morning around 6:30 and I meditate for 20 minutes. My mother and my mother-in-law meditate. So when I was a child and when I grew up, I used to meditating as well. But it's only in 1990 when I went to Trinidad that I learned from an Indian master at the Meditation Institute to know how to do transcendental meditation. The meditation is more of a stressing, relaxing exercise. So if I have stress, I would like to get rid of the stress in order to relax. Not only relax physically, but also mentally and spiritually. I close my eyes halfway and center myself and find inner peace. And I put my hands, my palms up in order to receive the blessing from Buddha. I'm a Buddhist.
Strike up the band, you're looking grand. Smile and hold your head up high. Remember, girls, you all are winners because you're part of pageant time.
Well, I put this pageant together and produce it and teach the ladies how to walk, how to speak, to help them to look as good as they could look on the stage.
New York, I want to hear it. You all have good voices. You can project it. Ladies, just be sure that you hear what the person in front of you says and wait till they finish and then you come in.
Carol Lenz, New York.
Margaret, Britain, New Hampshire.
I want to share with the contestants of other states and the American public the beauty of the Vietnamese women, especially the seniors. And I want to show that we Asians, we have our own art, music, and traditional customs. I was born in Cambodia in 1940. My father used to work as the deputy director of a rubber plantation called the Terre Rouge, the Redlands in Cambodia. My birth name is Tu Vung. It means autumn cloud. I'm the youngest daughter of a family of 10. Jackie is the shortened name of Jacqueline, given by my father when he sent me to French elementary school in Vietnam. We didn't have to pay money because it's public school. Therefore, all the French teachers came from Paris or from France to teach there. And it's one of the most prestigious French school called Marie Curie in Saigon. I went to another French school in Dalat to finish my high school. And I graduated with a French baccalaureate.
Are you going to wear higher heels?
Yes.
Yeah, me too. How tall, how high are you?
5'2".
I'm 5, so I should be the last one. Maybe you should be the last one. That's right, I should be the last one.
With the French coming back to govern Vietnam, there were many resistance movements at that time, and even siblings inside the family, they won't tell who would go and join which resistance movement. And two of my sisters went to the jungle to fight against the French, and It was the Viet Minh, is the precursor of Viet Cong, of the communists. And two of my brothers were drafted into the army in the South, so they were divided.
Now, just a reminder, when you come up here, I know you're anxious to say what you have to say. You must be careful to listen to the person who's speaking before you and let her finish.
I'm sort of their mother hen for the whole week that they're here.
As you know, tomorrow is the interview day.
A mother hen does lots of things. Mostly she yells.
Can everybody listen? Sure. Because we're going to have questions. We're going to have questions that are not being paid attention to, and then I'm going to get it again. Okay.
The talent for A was done Friday. Because my son is coming in Thursday,
Friday.
so I want to make sure.
Group B will do their talent on Thursday.
Right.
Are you Group A or Group B?
A.
You know, you put a bunch of puppies in a box, and then you turn around and the puppies jump out, and then you go and find them again and put them all in, and then you close the door and hope that the bus driver starts and you can go where you're going.
Robin, get them close. They're not stopping. Just hold it. No, hold it. Just a second. I don't blame you for being confused, okay? They decided that instead of just doing the number as original in the name, you're going to walk around first.
Back, you want to go again? You better go.
I'm very proud to represent the Vietnamese community and show that we have a voice and we have a positive image in society.
I think today's the scariest day because it's the judges' interviews. And 50% of our score is dependent upon that interview.
It's people interviewing people. That's what I'm trying to think.
All you have to do is go and be yourself, and that's what I intend to be.
I value education, and this is what my father wanted me to do, have the highest education possible. But after I graduated from high school, my mother wanted me to get married and arrange for many friends of hers to bring their sons to come and ask for my hand. I had to go to different tea ceremonies when the would-be in-laws would come and visit my family. But after each visit, I just change into jeans and climb on top of a mango tree and wave them goodbye for good.
In the interview, we want a bright, articulate person to be able to carry the senior America message to the country.
It's just a communications thing that we're trying to get, to see that they have the ability to communicate and speak, because they're going to speak in front of cameras, they're going to be in the public.
They wouldn't let you in the judges' interviews, huh?
So we're going to conduct
I hear they're like that.
I was a student in London, and he was a student in Paris. But a friend of mine got married and asked me to attend her wedding, and at the wedding I met Bong. My first impression of him was that he was too serious, and He didn't know how to talk or to flirt, but he was a very determined person.
Bà ngoại thấy một người con hiền từ nhỏ tới lớn, thích cái học hành lắm, cho nên siêng năng học hành và làm việc gì cũng tốt, ít có làm cái gì mà mít lòng ai lắm.
And he did all kind of menial and odd jobs to finish 2 PhDs, one in constitutional law and one in political sciences. And he wanted to go back to Vietnam in order to serve the country. After I met him just 3 times in Paris during the 2 weeks that we had known each other, he went back to Vietnam to teach at law school, and I went back to London to study, and we corresponded. But the thing is that he went to visit my mother every week and then every evening. And after many months of friendship and courtship through letters, we became pen pals, and we love each other through letters. He wrote to me a letter and asked to marry him. Bong and I got married in 1964.
I just got my interview with the judges. Oh, honey, that was enough to jar your mother's preserves.
If I had the chance to do something over again, I would need God's help, because the only issue I have with my birth, I wasn't born a natural blonde, and that would have saved me a lot of time and money throughout the years.
I said that the most important activity that I did was that the past 6 months I trained 10 volunteers, and every weekend we went to a big shopping center, the Vietnamese shopping center with 150 stores, and I'm glad to say that we set up a table and we register voters, and we have registered 4,000 people so far, as compared to the 2,000 that we had registered in the year 2000. If I were asked by the people what I should be, I should do if to represent the pageant, and I said that I would like to tell not only the 200 million people in the US, but also the people in the world, wherever I travel, to look at me as a role model. That I came here as a refugee, a widow with 3 young children.
I remember looking at the headline of a newspaper and seeing the car. It was a car explosion, and I seeing a picture actually of the charred car. And then after that, I remember being at the funeral.
Bong wanted to institute a democratic system in Vietnam, and he established, after President Diem was assassinated in 1963, he established the progressive nationalist movement. He had a lot of support, and he had established his grassroots all over Vietnam. Therefore, he wanted to join the government after President Thieu asked him to be the prime minister. And the day after he had agreed to be the prime minister of Vietnam, 2 students, Viet Cong, put a bomb under his car, and he died instantly, burned in his car.
I was 7 years old when it happened, and obviously it was incredibly traumatic. Now, he did have an assassination attempt 2 years earlier in 1969, so it wasn't something that that came out of the blue.
I was teaching French at that time, but it was not enough for me to raise 3 children. Plus, at that time, I had invited my mother-in-law and 2 sisters-in-law to come and stay with us. So I had to feed 6 people.
One of the ways that she coped was to try and be busy and to give herself to the community. And so that took a lot out of her, and obviously she had to really balance that with bringing us up.
I went to work for the Vietnamese-American Association as the director of the cultural activities. And I worked day and night, on weekends as well. But I enjoy it because I organize conferences, concerts.
I think the other part of it that was kind of difficult was not only did she lose her husband in 71, but then in 75, we all had to kind of leave Vietnam pretty abruptly.
Well, red on stage is very vibrant.
Better than the blue, okay?
It has a vibrant, a very warm, vibrant effect.
So I should wear this one.
And with your rhinestone.
I initiated Pinky to Vietnamese food, and she practiced
Are you able to use
chopsticks.
the chopsticks?
Sometimes. Sometimes I can use them, and sometimes my fingers just go crazy.
I use a fork. I still use
Oh,
a
do you?
fork. Yeah.
I'm a reporter, I'm a journalist. So I was assigned to go and write an article about senior Olympics in Virginia. So when I went there were some senior from the pageant who were performing dances. So I just went to interview them, and they said that, oh, we would like to recruit some Asian women to become contestants for the pageant in Virginia. Do you know anyone? And I said, I don't know, I've never heard of pageants for senior women anywhere. It's something very new for me. Oh, if you could find Asians, it would be good. And I said, I try. And the lady said, oh, too bad. You look like only 36. If you're 60 and over, you can join us. And I told, I'm sorry, last year I was 63, not 36.
Good morning to you.
It's the first, the final rehearsal, and we will have our first preliminary today as well.
We're doing well. We're doing well. We can dress like this at 8 o'clock in the morning, honey. We can do anything.
It's called transformation early in the morning.
I like to talk in front of a crowd, so I'm not nervous talking in front of a crowd or going on stage.
When we're coming out, pull it up on this side.
Gosh, we are so bonded. These are my pageant sisters. It's almost like a sorority. Everybody is so encouraging to everybody. I mean, you hear the backstabbing, you hear all that. That's not true here. That is not true.
Don't make yourself pretty, dreaming dreams of going to the great big city. Pageant time.
We all get nervous. We all have the same fears, the same apprehensions, every one of us, because age is just a number.
I know you have the glamour, you'll love the panorama, and we all be by your side. So good luck to all you treasures, and thank you for the pleasure of getting us at pageant time.
I'm a little lightheaded, and I just need to rest for a minute and have some water, and then I'll be raring to go.
Are you okay, Karen?
I'm just a little...
Are you all right?
I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
I miss you.
I miss you too. I'm just a little nervous. I'll be okay.
Ready?
And as a child, I didn't really know what was going on. So it was just really, I mean, I remember leaving Saigon that day, and we got into a car, went to the airport in Saigon, and it was just, I just remember seeing a massive amounts of people everywhere.
I and my family knew that there was no way we could escape to freedom if the communists came and took over Vietnam, the South. Therefore, I tried my best to get out, but it was very difficult to get a visa to travel. And it was the friends at the American embassy who helped me get out of Vietnam.
The next memory I have is in the evening when we were just sort of rushing and running very quickly to board a plane. And then on the plane, it was a paratrooper plane. And I remember seeing a GI, as we were taking off, telling us to, start to chew just to relieve the pressure as we were taking off. And then from there, just going through, I think we went to the Philippines, and then Guam, and then Camp Pendleton in California.
I remember vividly that a week before that, in Vietnam, when I saw that the refugees from central Vietnam walked down south to Saigon, I raised funds for them, and I bought food for them, and distributed clothes to them. And 2 weeks afterwards, I went to Guam, and the people, the Red Cross members, distributed food and clothes to myself and my children. And it was something that I learned a lot in life, to be humble and to accept all kinds of situations.
Who's three? Okay. You two? Please listen. Okay, number 3, 4. 4 here. Thank you. 5. 6. 7. Who's 7?
Listen, today
Okay,
at 5
mine's
o'clock
6.
when we go on.
Where do you belong? Where do you belong?
I'm in B. I'm going to get
Well, what are you doing here?
She just told me to come over here.
No. Wait. Let me get this group out of here. And then you have all the room in the world.
We had nothing with us. We had nothing to do, and we didn't even know where we would go next. And it was during these 2-3 months throughout different refugee camps, devoid of all kinds of comfort, enough food to eat, and not knowing the future. It was that anguish that we all, refugees, we had to undergo and overcome.
So I say, express yourself however you do it best, according to your own talent, and be a force of life.
She is judged on her philosophy of life, and that has to be done in 35 seconds or less. And of course, when you live to the age of elegance, 35 seconds hardly covers your lifespan, but our women do it very well.
Well, I can't hear her, so I want to know when she's finished.
Basically, we're looking again for the woman that's able to give a message of what she thought was the underlying feature that made her who she is today.
Her special interests are classical music and travel. She has 3 children and 1 grandchild, Jackie Bong Wright.
Anyone who was in a refugee camp at that time had to be sponsored out of the camp. One day I was called to the processing center, and it was the Sandy McDonald, the president of McDonnell Douglas Aircraft, that I had known before. And he called the Department of State, and they traced me throughout the 3 camps. It's finally he was the first person to get me out of the camp. So my children and I, we went to live with he and his wife in St. Louis. Life in St. Louis was good because we lived with the president of McDonnell Douglas aircraft. They tried to get me and the children not to go under the tragic conditions that we have had in the refugee camps. But I think that it was at that time that my 3 children and myself, we got sick. I think that it was the stress that we have had fleeing Vietnam and going through different refugee camps.
At age 82, I want to live each day to the fullest. I like to do things to make me feel fulfilled. I try to live each day to the fullest, and
Develop your potential. Risk. Jesus, go ahead, just say whatever you feel. Risk failure.
Ambassador Bunker, who had spent 6 years in Vietnam and who had helped getting me out of Vietnam, he wanted me to be resettled in Washington, D.C., where I've had a lot of American friends from the American embassies in Vietnam. It's why he asked the McDonald's to let me go there.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming?
In 1978, when the boat people refugee came out by the thousands because they could not stay under the communist regime in Vietnam, I saw the need of these boat people, and I went to court to help them, and I volunteered to help them. So I asked all my American friends to help them, and we found the Indo-Chinese Refugee Social Services, and we settled over 200 boat people refugees.
Say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Now, I know why my wife said, I'll meet you down at the theater. She didn't want to ride down with me, and I know why, because I never saw this hat before, and I'm not sure I saw this gown.
Well, Bob, dear, when you get your master charge this month, you'll know every detail about this hat and this gown.
Missouri, Alabama, Massachusetts.
Yeah, Massachusetts.
Is she here?
I haven't seen it.
Massachusetts is missing.
I'm on the other side. Yeah, you better get over there.
One of the latest craze to hit America is the electric slide. Here is Ms. Marilyn to dance and recite Maya Angelou's poem, Phenomenal Woman.
Now, when I walk into a room as cool as you please, the men, they either stand up or fall down on their knees.
Oh, she's just
very touching to see a woman at her age get out there with so much spirit and life, and it just makes me I'm gonna lose my eyelashes now. I have to go out and sing.
It's that old devil moon that you stole from the sky. It's that old devil moon.
Actually, I was 57 years old when I decided to learn how to tap dance. It was a lifelong dream. I didn't know what a shuffle ball change was, and I'm having the time of my life.
So the girls that are doing philosophies, you get them over to me.
Life is like the weather. You never know what to expect. So you better be prepared. If it's raining, you ought to bring an umbrella. If it's snowing, bring your boots. I'm always ready for a sunny day, so I'm prepared with my sunglasses.
I am a wreck, a total wreck. My little grandson is out there, and I want to show him that grandma just doesn't babysit and make chicken soup.
No dream is too small, and no diamond is too big.
Well, they used to say that the seniors were home in rocking chairs, but this group is out rocking the boat.
Ladies and gentlemen, aren't they just beautiful? They truly exemplify the age of elegance.
I chose my philosophy of life as the story of my life.
And now, audience, please say hello to contestant number 5, Jackie Bong Wright, Ms. Virginia.
Life is a wonderful flow of energy, and living to the fullest of one's abilities means keeping the physical, mental, and spiritual elements in balance. For me, success is not how high and fast you reach the top, but how high and fast you bounce back when you hit bottom.
Ms. Virginia is president of the Vietnamese Voters Association and Virginia Cameo Club. Her volunteer work, she translates and interprets for patients' legal documents. Her special interests are classical music and travel. She has 3 children and 1 grandchild, Jackie Bong Wright.
I got
Winner!
She's
Go
together. I want to win.
Oh, when you're married, it's a lot more fun to have a companion and someone to take care of.
Do you know what I miss about having someone or being married? Do you know putting in a light bulb? Things go wrong. Husbands can get the pipe and put it in.
A lot of the folks here, a lot of the women's husbands are very involved in this. They become, they call them the luggage carriers.
Making sure the costumes are ready, helping her get dressed, that type of thing.
Suitcases.
And lugging the suitcases, yeah.
Being my knight in shining armor, like he always is.
When I first joined the Foreign Service, which was in 1968, almost everybody who joined at that point went to Vietnam. She was well known because she was the widow of Nguyen Van Boom, and she was also a woman who had come to a certain degree of prominence in her own right by working with the American Embassy as head of the Vietnamese-American Association cultural arm.
And I organized a lecture, and I invited the Minister of Finance to come and give a talk. And Lacey came to attend that lecture, and we shook hands first time.
Oh.
The real encounter was when we met again when we were in Washington, D.C. At that time, I came out as a widow, a refugee with 3 young children under 12. So I couldn't invite him to have dinner in a big, nice restaurant. So I invited him to come to my house to dinner. And Lacey met the children, and they didn't speak much English at that time. So Lacey offered to teach them English, to take them bowling, and initiated them to going to the zoo and to other places. And it's how it started.
So when my mom came home one day and sat us down, and she was very formal and very serious about it, and she kind of asked us, well, what do you think of Lacey? And asked us a few questions. Annie and I, my twin sister, kind of smiled broadly and said, oh, well, you're going to marry him, aren't you?
Lacey asked me an indirect question. What did you say?
I believe I said, what if I asked you to marry me? What would you say?
And I said, I love you very much, but I've had a lot of problems in my life. I have 3 children, and you've never been married, so go home and think a lot about that. And Lacey went home, thought about that, and what happened?
Well, I remained of the same view.
Some disorganization? I'd say a little.
Everyone is back. And now, ladies and gentlemen, a hand for all our contestants. That's your cue. Turn. Start.
No! Your cue is, you said it's 2004. You said they're going to leave our cue.
All right. With cue, I would like to do so. Let's say goodbye to our contestants.
Well, they have to know a word.
Okay, goodbye. Let's say goodbye to our contestants.
So the word is contestants? You gotta give me one word.
Goodbye.
Goodbye?
That's all. Goodbye to our contestants of 2004. That makes it easy. She means
How shall I say this? You should be starting to plan for this pageant last year. I mean, for the next pageant last year. You should be 2 years out. But because this is a nonprofit and mostly volunteers, that doesn't happen.
You won't know what you're doing. When you're marching in and you're in place, continue to march in place.
Oh, she told us not to.
Okay, no. Now the rule is
march in
but
place.
you
March
can't
in
bend
place.
your knees.
You don't
want
well,
you could go like this.
Yeah,
You
because
go
that
like
makes
this.
it
Yeah, right. But the other thing is, it's back again to 2004.
Okay. Goodbye, class of 2004.
Goodbye, class
Let's
of
hope she does it.
2004.
I heard you are wonderful. I'm so excited to see you perform.
Thank you.
I am. You are my exquisite lady.
You're going to rehearse it now.
Now.
Yes.
And as well this afternoon and tomorrow.
Okay.
So I need. Okay, this is facing the audience.
Right. The audience is out here.
This is facing me.
Okay. You come on from that side, right?
We're skipping Grenada. Next one. Wrong. This is in Spain. We're in Vietnam.
My stepfather got a position in the State Department. He was a lifelong diplomat. And so after they got married, soon after they got married, we were all shipped off to Italy for 2 years.
During that time, Jackie was was going through a period that was very difficult for her and that I did not fully understand at the time.
So we're ready for the spring melodies. No? Hold it.
first before the music starts.
Before they start, yes, let her come out, and then you start the music.
When I received letters from my mother and my siblings in Vietnam saying that my brother was put in jail and that there was no job, and my mother had to sell things again, a second time, in order to buy ration food. And at that time, my sister, who went to the north and became a communist, went back and tried to get other members of the family into trouble. Therefore, I was very depressed.
Because she dealt with depression, she was not able to really give a lot of her time and energy, to us. But I think, Lacey was around, so he was a stabilizing influence as well. And we kind of knew that she was depressed, but, as children, you really don't understand what depressed people go through, how much energy it takes, and how they really don't have a lot of energy and they don't really want to do a lot of things.
The flute fell on the ground.
Yeah.
Because of the table size? Is that
Yeah.
why?
Yeah, I had a rounded table, a bigger table. I can put everything on. The first time I practiced, but now we couldn't find it. The first time I used it, it was a lighter table, and it's not metal. It's light.
Okay.
But it's bigger and round. I don't know.
I'll look for one. I don't know where one is. I had to resurrect this one because it was bigger than the one we had here yesterday. It was, ma'am.
Yeah.
Believe me, it was bigger than. This is
understand.
bigger.
Right.
You may have seen another one. I'll look for it, but this is the biggest one we had yesterday.
Yes,
Now
I
look
know.
for a bigger round one. That's all I can promise.
Thank you. It's only when I came back to the U.S. after 2 years, I went to work and help the boat people, refugees. So working and helping the less privileged than I am and I was, I feel that this is a kind of a therapy for me. I didn't feel well because
It fell.
It fell, and then I was confused, and I did wrong. Some part of my
It didn't look wrong.
right, but I knew.
I know you know, but no one else is going to know.
This is why. Is it possible after they've finished all? Can I do it one more time to practice and to remember? Is
We'll
it
see
okay?
how it goes.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes because there are a lot of people waiting. I had to fight to get the stage because they wanted to pull us off and put us back on. So I fought to get the stage. Hopefully we can do it one more time. I got a table, I think. Well, I called Banquets, and Banquets is setting one down with a tablecloth on it, and I told them not 2 o'clock, but PDQ. So we'll see.
And now this is our second preliminary, and tomorrow will be our finals. So we're now ready to continue.
Go.
I guess that's why the chair was not just doing this fine.
When they're looking at the evening gown, I mean, some of these women are not size 2, and we don't look for that.
We don't believe clothes make the woman.
The gown has to reflect who the woman is, and that's what we're looking for.
Remember, it's not only later than you think, it's sooner than you suspect. So start living.
You got to be old enough to know what you want and young enough to get it.
You did it all right.
That was pretty darn good.
That was wonderful. It was great. That was fabulous. That was fabulous. I told you were going to do that, didn't I?
You are so sweet.
I want to congratulate you.
Oh, don't you look gorgeous?
You.
Have you done yours already?
Not yet, but you are dynamite.
Oh, that's, honey, that's precious of you to say that to
my
me.
role model.
You look gorgeous.
You love to sing?
Yes.
So you sang when you were young? What age?
Oh, I guess the first time I remember singing, because I started, they say, when I was 2 years old, but I don't
2
remember.
years.
I don't remember.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
She's been practicing since the Miss Virginia contest, and I think there've been some changes to it, so it'll be fun to watch.
In the finals in Virginia, they set her table up wrong, but it didn't stop her. She recovered and won.
The Vietnamese culture is exotic and mysterious. Here she is, Jackie Bong Wright, to demonstrate an art displayed in many of the palaces in Vietnam called Spring Melodies. Jackie Bong Wright.
The table was there, and I set all my fan and my props properly, and the music was on time. So I think that I'm happy with my performance. Thank you.
Great.
Lovely.
You look
Thank you.
lovely, so dainty,
And your
like
face
a little,
was beautiful in that
a
long
little
dress.
flower dancing across the stage.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Your fans look translucent.
Really?
Yeah, they did. They were beautiful in the light.
Yes. Good. Thank you. So good. I'm glad it's all over. Tomorrow. Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, girl. Well, I can do the fan.
Oh, the fan, huh?
The cameo ball is held on Friday evening on the eve of the crowning of the Queen. And we all get together for a night of fun and dancing and lots of good food.
Is what?
By taking a bath. After a while, it isn't so hot.
As a sophomore, we had Sadie Hawkins Day Dance where the girls can ask the boys out. And so she trapped me in the corner and asked me. So I went and
I suffered the whole year. He wouldn't even, he was so shy, he wouldn't look at girls or anything.
Every weekend, Lacey and I, we have a pact. We go to the movies together, or we go out together, only the two of us. And we eat together, so we have time to spend with each other every week.
I really saw how they were as a couple when, 2-3 years ago, when they started doing Vietnamese opera together, which I thought was very unusual.
We, as most couples, even in this same culture and same race, there are a lot of differences. I used to call Lacey the last emperor of Springfield, Illinois. So we adjust to each other, and Lacey went everywhere he went, he took me, and everywhere I went, I took him. And for instance, I went to churches with Lacey, and Lacey went to the Buddhist temple with me. Lacey likes Italian food. I prefer French food, but we all love Vietnamese food. So we always have something in common that we like.
I'm gonna love you like nobody's loved you. Come rain or come shine, high as a mountain, deep as a river.
Idaho, Florida, California, Ohio. Ooh, Vanjie's not here.
The top 10 ladies will again display and share her philosophy of life and her talent segment.
And we're starting all over again now. The only score that comes forward would be the interview.
Everyone has to realize this is an entertainer's microphone. You have to talk into it. Janie, sweetheart, into it, make love to Doug.
This is like a climax. It's building and building and building. It will all come to fruition the moment we crown Miss Senior America.
In my day, 40 was kind of over the hill almost. And one of my friends said, you know, you're not going to finish until you're 40. And I said, well, you know, I'm going to be 40 no matter what I do. So I can either be 40 and have an MD, or I can be 40 and not have one.
I had a wonderful sponsor, so I traveled all over the United States.
Contestant number 10.
Fill in, fill in. When one leaves, you fill in. I don't want a space, just fill in. The MC will again say, and now the top 5. Good. You always leave a space in the middle. Exactly.
Stay in school, get as much education as you can, and trust yourself. Do try very hard to do what you really like to do, because it's probably what you'll be best at.
Life is all about choices. Some choices are going to take you some great places.
Some choices are going to take you down for the rest of your life.
Follow your dream. Depart from all kinds of evil.
Well, they've all done very well, and we're proud of all of them. They've studied hard, they worked hard.
I was kind of mischievous, and I had a couple of mischievous friends. One was an American guy in the American School of Milan. Yeah, we were kind of like juvenile delinquents a little bit.
We are very fortunate to have children who value education, and they went to work, went back to school.
We went out and threw snowballs at cars.
Knowledge is power, and knowledge is the future, and wisdom.
And we actually had seasons. In the fall, there were chestnuts to throw at cars. In the winter, of course, there was ice and snowballs. And then in the spring, we had a park nearby.
The more you are educated, you have to think about how to make decisions for oneself, for one's family, for one's society. And this is a big contribution to mankind.
They didn't manicure the lawns and cut the grass very, very often. So there were clumps of grass this high that when you grab a bunch, there's a lot of sod underneath, and it could do some damage to the cars.
What we value, they see. We cannot teach them every day, you have to do this, you have to do that. But we live, and by example.
But in some ways, I've always felt that there's a certain expectation that we would do well. I don't think they felt that they needed to tell us or to force us to do work.
Good soup.
Alex used to watch cartoons all the time.
In high school?
When he was in high school. Every Saturday morning he'd be up watching cartoons, hours of cartoons. And I used to say, Alex, you're too old to watch cartoons. You should be studying, or you should be doing other things. Cartoons are for little kids. You got to stop watching cartoons. And I told him that up until the day that he was admitted to Yale University. And then I thought, maybe he knows something that I don't.
And I am very, very inspired when I meet women like yourself every year, new women that come in. You are getting, to me, younger looking, probably because I'm getting older. I am so proud of each and every one of you who have come forward to represent your state. So keep your chins up, good luck, relax. It's going to be a great day. And I'll see you at the coronation ball.
Oh, well, I'm thinking this is the moment of truth that's almost upon us, huh?
It's always a little tension when you have to go out and perform, but it's fun too. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Who would have thought we'd get to be this
at this age.
and we'd be doing this, so that's made it all worthwhile, whatever happens.
Got the grandkids out there, so it's okay.
Really, it's an incredible thing that a Vietnamese could be selected and be representing not only the Vietnamese community, but also the Asian community and the Americans.
When you hear prepare, let's say goodbye to our contestants until they prepare for their final round. That's when you leave, when you hear the word final round. So I forget who the first girl that was going to turn. Oh, I know, Miss Idaho on the other. Oh, you were going to be the first one to turn, were you?
Well, if she's not in the top 10.
It doesn't matter. No, this is for the girls that are, if you're in the top 10, it's for the girls who are not in the top 10. When the 10 leave, if you're in the top 10, you're going to hear the following. A nice round of applause for our wonderful class of 2004, and that's when the top 10 leave. That's what he says. You'll be able to do it. Just don't hang out.
Okay. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let's meet our distinguished panel of judges, upstanding men and women, who will judge our contestants in our 4 categories.
They have to be ready for just about anything. Their minds have to be very on and easy, and particularly those that are relaxed. We look for relaxation in their spirit.
Is this straight?
Hi. I'm not nervous. I'm lying.
And I'm being very honest.
My knees are shaking with the lion heart.
I'm just with him.
What?
I said, I'm with you.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
We're all in this together.
And now let's meet the class of 2004 to the tune of Pageant Time.
Oh, I'm just in tears. I just can't stand it. I just can't. I mean, it's just too hard because 28 of them are not going to be queen, and they're going to have to go home without that. But no, I just can't deal with it.
Now, they're not in any particular order, the judge's chairperson tells me, so make no reference to what it means, except you know this is time to get on to find Ms. Senior America 2004 to reign into 2005.
Miss Florida, Adelaide Addie Spicuzza.
New Jersey, Stella Courtney.
Nevada, Barbara Glotzer.
Colorado, Michelle Ryan.
Utah, Nadine Allen.
Michigan, Charlotte Schneider.
Missouri, Beverly Shaw.
California, Phyllis Lovett.
New York, Carol Lenz.
And our 10th finalist from Alabama, Zabala Kambor Borick. How about a nice hand, ladies and gentlemen, for our top 10 finalists.
There are some people that think that the talent should be what show business is, and there are other people that say, well, the talent is the ability to do what you are doing and being able to do the best you can.
I had called a cab, but they all canceled it because I'm in the top 10.
Some of these days, you're gonna miss me. Ain't it kind of funny at the dark end of the road?
I'm very shocked. I'm very thrilled. I'm scared. But just to make it this far is just like the greatest thing that's ever happened to me, so I'll be grateful forever.
I think you need some health care, girl.
I need a breast reduction.
Yes, you're a little over endowed, as
I
they
just
say.
did an implant right there in the dressing room.
Like nobody's loved me, come rain or come shine. Ooh, yes.
I'm expecting to have other winners, and I accept the fact that there are people who are better than myself who were selected, and I'm a winner anyway, coming here and performing and sharing my culture.
Well, I'm disappointed in myself, I guess. I suppose it's about my age. They probably didn't think I'd live to make it another year.
I'll still go home and clean the bathroom and clean the commode, do the dishes, do the cooking, and never miss a beat.
I'm a bit disappointed, but not suicidal.
The winner of Miss Senior America is flashed across the country on the AP wires all over. Then she will represent us in all of our sponsors as she cuts ribbons at the holiday retirement centers and retirement villages.
And finally, let's bring all our contestants back on stage. Let's find out who the judges have decided.
Fourth runner-up, Beverly Schultz from Missouri.
Ms. Missouri. The third runner-up, Stella Courtney, Miss New Jersey.
Second runner-up is Miss Utah, Nadine Allen. First runner-up is Miss Nevada, Barbara Glotzer.
And now, the moment you've all been waiting for, Miss Senior America 2004 from Colorado, Michelle Red.
We're gonna choose a lady who will make us proud. The one who went before her will simply just adore her when she puts on her gown and lovely crown. It's pageant time, dressed to kill. When she walks on the stage, you'll get a great big thrill.
If I can get one senior in a classroom reading with a kid, boy, that's worth everything. It means a lot. So I'd like to reach a lot of the art people. We are a mighty group, honey, and we need to be represented, not only with our own age group, but more importantly, as mentors and examples to our younger generation.
For me, success is not how high and fast you reach the top, but how high and fast you bounce back when you hit bottom.
I'm going to take your pictures out and put them on my wall.
Oh, really? Good.
She's still Miss Virginia, and I think she can still do quite a lot with that as a platform, and she will.
I don't know how many Asian Americans have been a part of this, but I think her being a part of it has opened the door, at least I think, to the Vietnamese community who know now that it exists.
All right, are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2.
Ça, c'est l'Amérique. C'est pas la même chose. Ils comprennent pas. She said, no, I don't feel that. I feel she should have been one of the best because she has great grace. I am a connoisseur of her. I'm from France, and she is a picture of the French Louvre, the museum. She has everything that's so great and graceful and beautiful. Thank you. And my heart is broken.
The real therapy for me was when I wrote my book, an autobiography called Tuvan, my maiden name. So it's a kind of exorcism and catharsis for me to write all my feelings. You know, it's one of the reasons why I wrote my book. First of all, is order to get rid of the Vietnam ghost out of my system, because I had too much pain with the Vietnam War. But the second objective is for me to write it in English. For the younger generation like you and my children who were born here or who didn't understand much about the culture and the history and the politics of Vietnam, to go back there and find yourself and find your roots.
So we the hope.
I would like to present to you the book that I wrote for you and your wife.
Oh my goodness! Hold on there, boss. Oh, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, my dear.
This gal could represent the whole crew for everything. The journey of what she's been through in her life, mine is this month compared to what you've done. So I just appreciate, God bless you in a lot of different ways, in the respect of just getting through what you've done to raise your children. It's just beyond comprehension. It is. My admiration for you is immense.
It's always parents, touting the accomplishments of their children, and in some ways, what she's accomplished gives us the ability to think about how proud we are of what she is able to accomplish. I wish there isn't a bumper sticker out there that says, I have a wonderful or accomplished mother who's, Miss Virginia, Senior America. But in some ways, it has that kind of the same feeling, the same effect.
And I would say that the quality that she has, which really stands out and which is a good lesson for anybody, whether a man or a woman, is her tremendous determination to succeed at whatever she does.
I'm very interested in helping with the rights of the women. I lately had my own TV program called Women Today, and I invite women to come and talk about various issues on education, social services, and politics as well.
Bắt đầu đây thì xin ông Tâm có thể nào ông vui lòng nhấn cái ngón tay vào để bắt đầu.
So where are you going to work? I see you're interested in every single facet of life, huh?
The whole week was a wonderful experience to share my stories with the other contestants and for them to share their stories with me.
Có cơm chiên.
Đâu sao cô lấy cái đĩa?
Một lát nữa cái yến đó.
Chị cho một cái đi.
I have learned a tango, a solo tango.
Would you be willing to do the
Yes.
solo tango? Okay, great.
Thank you. I think that I see the United States as not only a melting pot, but a fruit cocktail. Although all kind of fruits are put together in a bowl, but each element still retain its beauty and its color. And this is what the United States should be about. And I think that these elements will be integrated and assimilated by the mainstream later on. It takes time for the people to understand other cultures and other people.
See me now, that little gang of mine. I'm looking at your smile, and it's a healthy sign. I'd like to stumble bumps to see for a fact the kind of top drawer, first-rate chums I attract. All I can say is, wow, just look at where I
would like to be discovered in Hollywood. At 73? Yeah, that's good. 73. I mean, it can be done, you know?
And I intend to live to be about 120 because I do take good care of myself.
Although I have a very bad habit of eating chocolate when I shouldn't. I'm a chocoholic.
Thank you.
Barbara Newman, District of Columbia. Beverly Sauls, Missouri.
Vanessa Adams, Tennessee.
Samuel Camphor Bjork, Alabama.
Patricia Booth, Mississippi. Robbie Brewer, Arkansas. Jackie Bong Wright, Virginia.
No, I poked myself in the eye, so I have an abrasion. The pain is unbelievable.
Oh.
Well, I hope you're not.
We are.
And you're making a documentary.
Yeah. Oh, this is yeah.
And do we get to purchase a copy? Will you notify me? I'd love to know.
Of course.
Oh, good.
2 days before we left, a friend said, who had been in the pageant last year, said, you know, you need a little glitz for the talent number. I didn't have glitz. My husband and I are retired teachers. I've never worn a gown like this in my entire life.
Put a hat on a young girl and they turn into an elegant young lady. Don't you all just love my hats?
I wrote this poem, says, let us go and do and be. Talking to singers. Let us travel and be free. Never sit and crochet and knit. Never wait to babysit. Always pamper, primp, and preen. Always vow to never be mean. Don't let boredom get you down. Always smile and never frown. Engage someone from the opposite sex. Don't forget what it is to net. 'Cause sex is not only for the young, you know. Let your feeling of love just flow. And spend your money the way you feel. You've earned the right. So what's the deal? Give somebody a big bear hug or show them how to cut a rug. Go up the hill real nice and steady and don't come down until you're ready. 'Cause Methuselah lived 900 years. And never once did he have a fear that he was ever gonna die. So if you live your life, the years will fly. You've only reached the halfway mark. So prepare yourself for another start. Remember this, above all things. It's not over till the fat lady sings.
You wrote that? That was great.